Hello, I have the lovely, is it Axel?
It's Axel, yeah.
Yeah, cool. With me today. Hello, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Axl Malton. I'm from Harrogate in North Yorkshire, and I'm a horror writer published by Red Dragon Publishing.
Did you always know that you wanted to write? Mm.
No, I didn't. It was a fairly new thing, really. It was I like to be creative and stuff, but I never thought writing would be something that would be for me. And it was only during lockdown when I had loads of time on my hands, and I thought, oh, I'll see if I can do something. And I read a lot of Stephen King and Dean Koontz and stuff like that. So I thought, oh, I'll see if I can write something like that. And it was during that I wrote Cries of Joy, my first book. And then I sent it out to places, and yeah, and then Red Dragon picked it up, and it all went from there, really.
Did you have the idea for the story first, or did you have ideas for characters?
It was the story. Uh, Obviously, Cries of Joy is about uh, life in lockdown and living with an abusive person, during a lockdown, and it was very prevalent at the time, and there's lots of stories in the news about it and how much it had changed people's lives. And so I had this sort of story idea, um, which was very current, and thought I'd just roll with it and see how it went. And yeah, but eventually, it took lots of drafts and stuff for my first one. I learned a lot along the way, being a first timer. Um, but yeah, and then it all came together.
Were you worried about writing a lockdown-based story? Because obviously people were still living it and
Yes, mainly because I think I feared people would just be about sick of it. The idea of lockdown, and it was, I was worried it'd be a bit blah blah blah, but you know, the story is so much more that that's just the pretext of it, and then the rest is just this, you know, tension filled horror story that's just awful and brilliant.
um, did you plan to write horror, being a fan of horror, or was that just what came out?
Yeah, I think so. I've dabbled at writing crime, but I think horror is my strongest point. I like the everything that you can explore with horror, and I think Stephen King obviously does it best because uh, he writes all these books about all sorts, but it's about the people, and you get to know about everyone's different psyches and how people react to different things. And I think it's just a great way to explore characters as well as dealing with supernatural stuff or yeah, all sorts of different themes.
Did you have to do a lot of research? And what's the most interesting fact you found out when researching?
um I think I did do a lot of research. I think the most shocking fact was how many people for Cries of Joy, it was how many people suffer from domestic abuse. I didn't realize the percentages were that high, and it is a lot, and it was a lot for men who suffer from it as well, which was a shocking fact. And then for Dead Man's Heart, my new book, um, it was great researching that because that was completely different to anything I'd tried to write before because of the medical aspect of it. So they took a lot of research into that idea of the idea of the book is about passing memory on through, when you donate an organ, when you receive an organ from somebody, and about cellular memory and stuff like that. So that was really, really fun to research and stuff to find out. And hopefully it comes across in the book and quite accurate.
Yeah, that sounds awesome actually. Because I studied forensics, so obviously it's like a different side of the coin. But
Mm.
yeah, I love, and I love talking to authors because they don't find it weird or gross. They're like, ooh.
No, yeah, no, it's yeah, it's great to find out all different stuff and the stuff you learn. is just amazing when you're researching for a book.
Um, out of the two books you've written so far, is what's the most fun character that you've written?
Most fun character. I really liked writing the 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 psychopathic serial killer that's in Dead Man's Heart, but just because I felt I could be really free to be able to, let's make this person as, sinister and brutal as I could. And I think it really comes across in the book, and from the feedback that I've got from people has been, really great, and they've loved that character. So I think he's probably my favorite, just from what the freedom that I was able to do in, writing his parts and his different characteristics and stuff.
I said to you before, I'm writing, and have you ever you ever like typing and thinking, where is this coming from? Like, who is this
Yeah.
person typing these words? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm studying for a degree at the minute in creative writing, and um, they often say, if you are stuck, then just stand there and just write, and stuff will come. And you do, you're like, where is all this coming from? You just, without even thinking, these ideas are just coming. And quite often that's how I quite like to start a story. I get the idea, and then I just sort of just go with it and see how characters develop. And then once I've, written a few chapters, and I think about structure and how I'm going to progress it and what's going to happen. But yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, it's a very weird thing, isn't it? You're just like, okay, my fingers are moving and I'm just reading the words as they're coming out. And okay, didn't
Yeah.
know my mind could do these things, but right, fine.
Especially when you write in horror and you're writing a scene and then you read it back. That's a lot. Where did that come from? But yeah.
um, if you were to take out one of your characters for a meal, who would you choose and what would you ask them?
Um, I would take out Bruce Campbell, who is the heart surgeon in Dead Man's Heart. Um, and I think I'd just pick his brain about what it's like to perform surgery. I've never spoken to a surgeon on a social level, so I think it'd be interesting to find out what it was like to be a surgeon, what it was like to do that job, and the pressure they feel, and yeah, all of that sort of stuff.
Did you know that the what's classed as psychopathy is high in surgeons because there has to be a level of detachment to be able to
Yeah,
cut into someone, which I think is
absolutely.
quite interesting, but also kind of scary.
It is, yeah, it's scary. I did hear that, like they, look at it like an inanimate object, like a mechanic fixing a car, And I think it is quite good that they feel like that, because then they don't have the pressure of the emotion and, the weight of how it must feel to have someone's life in your hand. But yeah, also scary on a social level.
Okay.
Yeah.
If your books were to be made into films, who would you play?
Who would I play?
Yeah.
Um, I would play. I suppose everyone sees himself as the hero, don't they? But I think I'd really enjoy playing the psycho killer. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, like normal people would want to play the hero, but I find that crime fiction and horror fans want to be killers. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not really sure what that says about us, but I totally want to be the
Every,
killer because,
everyone loves a good baddie, don't they? Yeah.
yeah, it'd be great. um, if you were to fictionally kill someone, how would you do it?
Fictionally kill someone. Most of my books, they have been quite hands-on and brutal, and I think I spoke to Caroline about this last time, and I've not used poison or anything like that, so I think I might dabble in, poison, or a slow, unexpected way. I think.
There are some poisons where you can completely incapacitate someone, but they know exactly what's going on. I'd love
Yeah,
to
it's a
play with that.
scary one.
And yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. When they're just looking at you and they can't move. Yeah.
yeah. We're quite
Yeah.
sick, aren't we? We're quite twisted people.
Yes, I know, yeah. Uh,
And if you were to be fictionally murdered, who would you want to solve your case?
who would I want to solve my case? Um hmm, to solve my case. Have you DCI Ryan? Have you read the DCI Ryan books by LJ Ross?
Oh, do you know, they're on my list, but I don't think I've read
He's pretty
any.
cool. I like him, and he's somewhat local. Yeah, probably go for him.
Cool. um, when you're editing, what's your most overused word or phrase?
Um, my wife, because my wife's my first go-to proofreader and yeah, beta reader, but she always says that I write "son of a bitch" a lot. In as it's always a character's go-to reaction. Just go, oh, son of a bitch, or something. She says you write that a lot. So I try and take some of them out, so it's not too much.
How did you come up with character names?
It was quite difficult. For Bruce Campbell, it was my wife had a surgery, had major surgery about 6 years ago, and it was Dr. Campbell who did the surgery for her, and then um, I just picked Bruce out of a hat, and then once I'd started writing, I'd thought about Bruce Campbell from Evil Dead and everything. I like him, so I thought I'd keep it like that. Um, but then the rest was just for Graham, who's obviously this awful, abusive man in Cries of Joy. I was just trying to think of a name that's that you wouldn't think of someone to be really awful. So I thought Graham was sort of a nice person's name. Yeah. So that's how I went for that one. But the rest, it basically just pick them out of a hat, really.
Yeah, it's hard, I find, names.
Yeah, sometimes you get bogged down for so long trying to think of the perfect name. It's like just put whatever, and then you can always chop and change it later.
Yeah, although it's irritating to do, but
Yeah,
yeah. How many times did I mention their name? Just
yeah.
I've forgotten what I was going to ask you then. Oh, do you hide any secret jokes or messages or Easter eggs in your books?
I do try and put in the odd thing, just little stuff from that people round here would know. Just little things, or even a favorite TV show that my wife and I really like, or just something like that, really. Um, but yeah, I think I'll do more of that sort of stuff. The more I write, I think I'll definitely be putting more stuff in. Yeah.
If you made lots of author friends since you started writing.
Yeah, I've made quite a few. Some in America as well. Just talking a lot on Facebook book groups and stuff like that, and getting to know people and getting advice from them, which is it's really good. It's when you're first starting out, it's such a learning curve. So I've learned so much in the short time that I've been published. I was only got my first book published in August. Um, so yeah, I've learned a lot just from talking to people and getting to know people and seeing what they do, and finding out what works, what doesn't work. But yeah, it's been nice to get to know people, and I'm hoping to try and get to a few more events this year. I didn't get to any last year, so if I can get to a few this year and get to meet some more people in person, then that'd be great.
You'll love it. You'll love every second. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Me and Tom Simpson have tried to meet up like a dozen times, and it's just always fallen through, whether my kids have been ill or just couldn't make it, or something. So it'd be nice to meet him, because he's only down the road from me, and we've still not met. But
Oh yeah, he came to my Brighton thing, which was really lovely considering he lives like way up north.
yeah, he lives in
Um,
York, so that's yeah, it's quite a
Wow,
trek.
yeah. Yeah, he didn't come for the whole day, but it was really lovely. He's such a lovely, lovely man.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. There's quite a few in your area, authors. So
I did an event at Waterstones with Liz Mystery. Um,
lovely. Yeah,
and she
she's
was
a
really
diamond.
nice.
She's
Yeah,
hilarious, absolutely, and
yeah, she's
naughty
lovely.
as anything.
She-
We done it one of these, and I can't remember how it came about, but somehow M&S and S&M got mixed up,
okay.
and we ended up just giggling like two
Yeah.
children. I blame her, she blames me. It's very funny. Yeah, she's terrible. She's great though. I love her.
Yeah, she is lovely.
And Tom's good friends with Malcolm Hollandrake, who's really really nice as a
Yeah, he lives around here somewhere near me.
Wigan.
Oh, he lives in Wigan, does he? Oh, well, he's always in Harrogate, isn't he?
I
He's
know,
always
yeah, he
popping
lives in
down.
Wigan. I don't know, go figure. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I always thought he was local to here, but
There you go. See, you've learnt something new today.
that's something new. There you go.
Yeah, and I definitely, obviously, don't stalk authors and have know where they all live.
Yeah, yeah. Just reeling off their addresses.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I do know Malcolm's address. I know quite a few addresses. People just give them to me. I don't know.
Trustworthy, obviously.
Yeah, maybe. um, what was I going to ask you again? See, you keep distracting me. It's all your fault. It's obviously not mine.
Yeah.
Highly professional.
Sorry. Yes, of course.
How did your deal with Red Dragon come about?
Basically, I saw some adverts from Conrad on Facebook, and then I saw Red Dragon Publishing. They put out like a Facebook thing, you know, looking for new authors and that. So I sent them the manuscript for Cries of Joy, and then Conrad emailed me. And he said he really liked it, really tense, and he was like, "I'll give it a read through, and we'll be in touch." And then, I think it was about 6 weeks, something like that. He emailed me and offered me a contract, and yeah, went from there. It was great. It's been really good. They've been really good experience. The editor's fantastic, Karen. Um, she's really good. She's thorough, and that's a good learning experience as well. The editing in my first book, like my self editing, was really bad. Once she'd gone through it, and she's like, this wrong, this wrong, and but then when I did my second book, I went through and self edited it, and she was like, it was in really good shape. So I'd learned a lot. So my third one, which is done, hopefully that's very well edited, but I'm sure she'll find something wrong.
It's their
Um,
job, so yeah.
yeah. But yeah, no, it's been a great experience, and yeah, Red Dragon are great. They're doing lots of good stuff, and I think they've got lots of good stuff planned for this year. Um, and to be in with some of the authors that they've got, you know, it's
Yeah,
brilliant. Yeah.
I met Conrad for the first time at Harrogate last year,
Mm.
but he was very drunk and told me that he loved me, which was really
Oh,
funny.
was he? I've
But
not met
then
him yet.
I said he was cute, and he's like, "I'm not cute." I'm like, so I was squeezing his cheeks and said, "Yeah, you are." Yeah,
Brilliant.
bless him. He's a really lovely man. Now I've known him a while, so and he writes incredible books as well.
Yeah, yeah,
His
yeah,
the journey home.
yeah. It's on my to be read uh list. I'm gonna devour that series. I think it's 3 books, isn't it?
It is now, yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah, that's just wow. It's one of I think it was one of my books of the year last year. I can't remember.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've heard all of his stuff is so good from from all the reviews and what people have to say. So I look forward to reading it.
Have you been inundated with books since you've become an author?
Yeah. Like you try and because when you're a small author, you try and help others around you. So you're always trying to pick up these, indie authors, and read the books and give them reviews and try and give them a boost. And but then also there's the mainstream authors that are always putting stuff out, and so you're trying to keep up with that. And I mean, I try and read 2 books a week if I can. I have an audio book and a physical book. Um, and at the minute, I've just discovered Peter May. Do you like Peter May? The Black House trilogy. So I'm halfway through the second book, and it's fantastic. It's really, really good. So I'm enjoying that at the minute. But yeah, no, just there's just so many books to read.
Yeah,
So
I know.
little time.
Try being a blogger and a blog talk organizer and doing interviews and writing and working full time,
Yeah,
and then
I know.
organising events.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. Yeah,
Yeah,
just trying to write books and trying to read books as well. I've got to go, work a proper job.
yeah. It's the whole proper job thing that sucks, doesn't it? If you didn't have to go do that, then it would be great. You'd have so much time.
Oh, I know. It'd be great one day.
Yeah,
That's the hope.
yeah.
One
I mean, I hate my job with a passion, everyone knows. But
day.
um, I start at 6 in the morning, so generally I finish quite early. So at least
Yeah.
then, once I've napped, because then I have time to do stuff. So yeah, I would say I'm lucky, but I'm not because I still hate it.
One day we'll get there.
Yeah. If you were able to spend a day with any author, dead or alive, who would you like to spend the day with?
Stephen King. Gotta be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's probably at the top of most people's lists. But just to have a chat with him, I suppose, and just it's like I don't know how he sleeps at night. He's got that many ideas. He just keeps on coming out with stuff. There must be constantly just going round and round in his head. So yeah, just to have a chat with him would be pretty cool.
Yeah. I was at Bloody Scotland not last year, the year before, and they had a live link with him talking to Linwood Barclay,
Yeah.
and they were hilarious. Absolutely. They're just, yeah, I mean, they're just two guys just chatting about uh toilets and block toilets in the trailer parks that they used to work in.
Yeah.
And we're all sitting there just like, and also he has imposter syndrome. He says every book
Yeah.
that he sends off to his editor, he thinks is going to be the one where his editor says, "What the hell is this? This is
Yeah.
rubbish." It's like you're Stephen King. You've written, I don't know, 60 odd books. So I always
Yeah.
say to authors if they have a wobble, I'm like, Stephen King has imposter syndrome. So, pull yourself together and you're fine.
Just deal with it, get over it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is very much, yeah. Like, just for God's sake, stop whinging and get on with it.
Linwood Barclay, he's another one. He's fantastic. He's one that got me into reading really. His No Time for Goodbye, his debut novel. I've read that years and years ago. Yeah, and I've read all of his stuff. He's really good.
Yeah, I'd love to meet him, and obviously Stephen King. I read Stephen King when I was a child, like
Yeah.
early teenager, and I've got most of his books, I think. So yeah,
Yeah.
he's top of my list as well. But then I've met most of the UK authors now. There's not many left, and hopefully I'll see Lee Child this year at
Yeah.
Harrogate. That's another one ticked off the list. I met Karen, Kathy Reichs last year. She's a legend. She's the reason I took forensics. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. So
Nice.
yeah, it's just Stephen King really that I'd love to meet. But I don't think he'd come over here.
I know. I don't think you'll come to England anymore, but
No.
live in hope.
I mean, I'm happy to go to America and stalk him. Like, I'm not bothered.
Yeah.
These things don't bother me. It's fine. If you're able to travel to any period of time, either forwards or backwards, where would you go?
I'd go forwards, I think.
Really? I'm
Yeah.
always amazed when people say that.
I just think how the world's going at the minute. I just love to see how it is in another 100 years or something. Just see what they're doing. I just think it's fascinating, the technologies and the abilities of what people can do, or how dire it's going to be, because it could be absolutely horrendous.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not sure. I must admit, we do have, I mean, we do destroy, but we do manage to sort of pull ourselves out of
mm,
holes. So, yeah, it would be interesting, I must admit.
yeah, we know everything that's happened before.
Yeah.
Although it would be great just to go back to, I don't know, Victorian times. It'd be pretty cool. Just to see what it was like. I wouldn't want to live there or anything.
You'd have to be
Um,
rich though, wouldn't you? You couldn't be a
yeah.
poor Victorian person.
No, no.
See, I want to go back to the 80s, and that's just because I was born in the 80s, but I want to go back
Yeah.
as an adult and see all the musicians and stuff. That's it.
Yeah, yes, yeah. All that, yeah, from the 60s, 70s, 80s to see the Beatles and Jimi Hendrix and Black Sabbath come
Queen,
about.
Michael
And
Jackson,
yeah,
Prince.
yeah,
Oh,
that'd be
yeah.
pretty cool.
Yes, please. Or could just go to Live Aid as well, David Bowie. And yeah,
Yeah,
that would be
yeah,
amazing.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, my mum, I was a year and a half when Live Aid was on, and I swear my mum's never forgiven me for not being able to go. It's like, well, you fell pregnant. It's not my fault, is it?
How selfish of you.
I know. How very dare I be born and be a baby? I'm sure she could have left me with someone if she really wanted to go. Yeah, she never mentions it. She's totally over it. It's fine. You know, it was a while ago now, but
Yeah. Uh,
yes. Um, what do you like to do when you're not writing or working or with your gorgeous family?
oh, playing guitar. And basically, I'm either reading, writing, or I'm with my family. Um, that's all we do really. So I like to do. But yeah, I like to play guitar. Um, let's go out for meals and stuff like that. We live a very sort of routine life in our house. We like what we like.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
You any good at the guitar?
I'm all right.
See,
I
either
used
you're
to,
very, very
yeah,
modest or you're just
or
really
I'm,
rubbish.
I'm rubbish. Yeah, I used to play it all the time. But then obviously, as you grow older, you run out of time or
Yeah, you
busy,
can't have
busy.
fun anymore.
No, exactly.
Who is your first celebrity crush?
My first celebrity crush, Britney Spears.
In the school uniform with the pigtails.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's interesting. That ages you as well. I love asking that question because it kind of ages people too. Oh, um, what else was I going to ask you? Oh, one of my fun questions that people go, "Oh my god!" Oh, if I was to ask your nearest and dearest what your most annoying habits are, what would they say?
Tapping. I'm always tapping. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would
Drives her crazy.
yeah, that would I used to work with a colleague that used to tap his fingers on the counter and he had nails. And I said to him, if you don't stop that, I will break your fingers. And I wasn't joking. When you're stuck in a little contained thing, sorry, baby, with someone that's tapping with a screen,
Yeah.
wanted to kill.
Yeah. I wrote a short story called Tapped, and I published it myself on Amazon. It's only like 45 pages, but that's inspired by my wife saying, if you don't stop tapping, I'm gonna cut your fingers off. uh, so yeah, it's definitely my most annoying habit.
So you said you finished writing book 3. So what's coming next for you?
So my next book is it's a horror again, but it's very focused on the mystery side of things. So I've tried to accommodate all genres in it, I suppose. So you've got mystery, you've got horror, and you've got crime as well. Um, my other books have had, you know, twists and turns, but this one, it's very much, there's a big twist at the end, and that's what it's all sort of leading up to, and misdirection, and I really like it. It's different than my other two, and I think more people will like it. The really dark stuff that's in Cries of Joy was a bit too dark for some people, so I think this is gonna appeal to a lot more people, and I
Awesome.
think, yeah, I think it will be my best one so far. I would hope. I would think every author wishes that.
As long as you get better, I think, with each book, then you're doing all right.
Yeah. So we'll see.
And apart from Harrogate, are you definitely attending any other events this year, or are you just playing it by ear? And
Just playing it by ear. I'd like to go to the one in Leeds, but we're a bit chocker every weekend for the next couple of months, so I'll have to just play that by ear. I might just get a ticket because I know they're selling out, and then I'll just see if I can go or not. And then yeah, just playing it by ear really, seeing what's about and seeing what I can get to. I'd love to do something like bloody Scotland, because that looks great, and they always have good guests and stuff. So I would like to try that one. But yeah, I guess it's just wait and see, really.
is there any particular authors that you want to meet at any of these things?
I'd like to meet Richard Osman, and I was kicking myself that I didn't get to see him when he came to Harrogate, because I like him. His books are great, and he's a really funny guy. So I would like to like to meet him. Obviously Stephen King, Linwood Barclay, Ian Rankin. I'd like to meet him. I'm looking forward to meeting Jeffrey Deaver. So he's coming to Harrogate, isn't he? If I get a chance to meet him, that is.
You should do. That's the good thing about Harrogate, is just everyone's in the beer tent.
Yeah, they seem to all mingle, don't they? So yeah, it'd be nice to get to know a few people and say hello and stuff.
Yeah, I've annoyingly, in a way, I met Richard Osman at Capital Crime last year, but it was freezing, so it was in the middle of a field near Battersea Power Station, and it was in September, the end of September, I think. It was so cold.
Yeah,
So I was wearing like a beanie hat, but it was a bit big, so it's got like this. And I've got a picture of Richard Osman. Luckily, he's sitting down because ridiculously tall. And I just look stupid because I'm wearing this hat. So I wish I'd taken it off and had the picture, but whatever, it's fine. But he was really lovely, and one of his characters is Donna as well. So I was like, oh, it's fine. Nice to finally meet someone with the same name as one of my characters. So yeah, but
yeah, he seems like a nice guy. It'd be nice to meet him.
yeah, I want to meet Reverend Richard Coles. I think he might be around this year, because I don't know if he's written another crime book, but he seems
Right.
lovely as well.
Mm.
He
Yeah.
was somewhere last year, but I didn't see him. So yeah, I want to meet him this year. And Lee Child.
Yeah, Lee Child. Yeah, it'd be
He's
pretty
at
cool to meet Lee
Harrogate.
Child. Yeah.
Him and Andrew Child are both there. So
Yeah, it's his son, isn't it, Andrew?
brother.
Brother. There we go.
So would you like to tell everyone where they can get your books from and where they can find out more about you if they would like to do so?
Okay, yeah. So all my books are available at any good bookshop, really. Waterstones stock them, or you can just find them on Amazon. If you want to find out more about me, I have a Facebook page, which is just Axl Malton author, and I have a Goodreads author page. Just search my name in there. You can see all the books that I've been in, any short stories that I've got, and collections that I've got stories in and stuff.
Brilliant. Well, that's it. I don't have any more questions for you. You may be relieved to know. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.